Once upon a time, a young man lived in a tiny village at the base of a mountain. This guy was famous in his village for being very lazy. He would spend his time sleeping under a tree and daydreaming, while the other villagers worked hard in their fields and shops. One day, a wise old monk visited the village and called the young man over. "My son," the monk said, "I have a job for you. I want you to go to the top of that mountain and bring me a single feather from the highest point." The young man looked at the mountain and laughed. "That's impossible," he said. "I'm too lazy to go all the way up there." The monk smiled and replied, "But the feather I want isn't on the mountain. It's on the other side, in a cave that you can only get to by going over the top." The young man was curious. He had never heard of this feather, and the idea of doing something so different made him want to try. So, he accepted the monk's challenge. The climb was tough and long, and soon the young man was panting and sweating. But as he went higher, he started to feel excited and thrilled in a way he had never felt before. When he finally got to the top, he was tired but happy. He looked at the amazing view and felt a sense of achievement he had never felt before. But the real test was still to come. He had to go down the other side of the mountain to find the cave where the feather was. Going down was even harder than going up. The young man slipped and fell many times, but he kept going, thinking about the feather waiting for him. And when he finally found the cave, there was the feather, shining in the light coming from the entrance. He picked it up and admired its beauty. But then he realized he had a problem. How was he going to get back up the mountain and bring the feather to the monk? For a moment, he thought about giving up, but then he remembered how good it felt to reach the top. He knew he had the strength and will to do it again. So, he climbed back up, tired and breathing hard, but not stopping. He was motivated by the knowledge that he had beaten his laziness and done something amazing. When he got back to the monk and gave him the feather, the monk smiled and said, "Well done, my son. You've learned a valuable lesson today. Laziness is not something you just put up with or ignore. It's a challenge to be faced, a barrier to jump over." The young man understood the monk's wise words. He realized he had always been able to do great things, but his laziness had stopped him. Now he knew he had the strength and will to face any challenge that came his way. The monk's challenge teaches us that laziness is not something to accept or ignore. It's a challenge to face, a barrier to jump over. When we push ourselves to reach our goals, even when they seem impossible, we find strength and toughness in ourselves we never knew we had. To beat laziness, we must challenge ourselves and set big goals, no matter how hard they seem. We must go beyond our limits and keep going even when things get tough. We also need to develop discipline and consistency in our daily life. By making a plan and sticking to it, we can form good habits that keep us focused and productive, even when we're not in the mood. Another key to beating laziness is to think of growth. This means seeing challenges and failures as chances to grow and learn, not as reasons to quit. By thinking this way, we can change our view on failure and use it as a push to get better and move forward. In the end, beating laziness means being willing to leave our comfort zone and take on the challenges and chances that come our way. Hope this story inspired you to wake up from your slumber, set goals, and start challenging yourself to achieve them. Don't forget to share your journey with us in the comments section. Please kindly subscribe, like, share, and turn on the notification button. Watch the next story to get more inspiration.